Hi, I'm Caspian from Strumming, and this video is important for you to watch if you want to build your confidence with your strumming patterns. By the end of this video, I hope you can play something like this. Now, if you already know how to play something like that just by listening to what I did then this video may be a bit too simple for your level, but otherwise stick around and we'll break it down step by step. So we've gone through this in other videos before, but we have our crotchet or our quarter note, and we use the word pair and do a down strum, or we've got two quavers or two eighth notes called apple, and we play that as a down up. So let's try doing a pair together just on the G chord. Pair. Let's try 4 pairs in a row. Pair, 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 pair. Great, now let's try an apple, which is a down up. Here we go. Apple. And let's try 4 apples in a row. Apple, 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 apple. Great, that's the first element. Now, often strum patterns combine the use of pairs and apples. So one that we're going to have a look at on the G chord is pair, pair, apple, apple. In other words, it's going to be down, 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 up, down, up. Let's try that together. And down, 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 up, down, up again. Pair, pair, apple, apple. And this is what that looks like when written down. We have pair, pair, apple, apple. Down, 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 up, down, up. Let's try another one now and hopefully you can figure it out. Here's our next example. We've got a combination of pears and apples. As you can see, we have 1 pear and 3 apples. So there'll be pear, apple, 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 right? And how are we going to count that? Well, something that might be helpful for you is to actually put in all the numbers of a bar. So in a bar of music, we've got these beats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If you like, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll be enough to fit in 4 pairs. Or you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 individual beats. If you count the pluses as well, that'll be counting in eighth notes. And that'll be useful to fit in 4 groups of apples. Apple, 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 apple. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So hopefully that's making sense because you can count the bar in quarter notes or eighth notes. So let's write that example again, this time starting with our pair and fitting in 3 apples. So here we go. Start with a pair here on beat 1. Now, we actually can't start the apple on this plus because a pair takes up a whole beat. In other words, it takes up the 1 and the and of 1. That's what we call this plus. So the pair actually takes up this much space in the bar. Next, we're going to do our first apple. Apple there takes up the 2 and the and of 2. We're ready to start another apple over here. And then we've got room for 1 more apple at the end here. So to summarise, we've got down, down, up, down, up, down, up. And how do we count that? Well, we've got 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And did you hear how I whispered this and? It's going to be down, and 2, and 3, and 4. And let's try that together. On the G chord again. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And down, and down, up, down, up, down, up. Down, down, up, down, up, down. One more. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Hopefully that's really easy to follow. Now let's add in a few more chords. We're going to go from the G chord to the E minor chord, then to the C chord, and then finally to the D chord. So that's a lot to remember. I'm going to write it down on the whiteboard for you. G, E minor, C, D. So remember that. And of course, we're going to use your friend and mine because it keeps us in time. The metronome, a super useful tool that you should be practicing with if you're not already using it. And let's set the tempo to, let's say, about 70 beats per minute. Nice and slow first. And what we're going to do is we're going to go down, down, up, down, up, down, up on one chord. Then we're going to pause for a whole bar for 4 counts. And then we're going to change to the next chord. So let's start on the G chord. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And down, down, up, down, up, down. Stop, change to E minor. 2, and 3, and 4. And down, down, up, down, up, down. Stop, change to C. 2, and 3, and 4. And down, down, up, down, up, down. Change to D. 2, and 3, and 4. And down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Back to G. And you can do it again in your own time, practicing changing between those 4 chords, leaving a count of 4 beats between each change. And here's the bonus thing. After you've done that at 70 beats per minute, change your metronome to 80 beats per minute and do the same. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. G. Down, down, up, down, up, down. Stop, E minor. 2 and 3 and 4 and down, down, up, down, up, down. Stop, E, C. 2 and 3 and 4. Down, down, up, down, stop, D. 2 and 3 and 4 and down, down, up, and stop. And repeat that again and so on, increasing the metronome speed by about 10 beats per minute every time. And let's say until you can get it to 120 beats per minute. So let's try it at that fast speed now, 120. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and down, down, up, stop, E minor. 2 and 3 and 4 and down, down, up, C. 2 and 3 and 4 and down, up, D. 2 and 3 and 4 and down, up. Good, and practice cycling through that chord progression a few times. Remember, starting at the slower speed and then gradually working your way up to 120 beats per minute. Now, this is one of the most crucial steps next, is you want to slow down the metronome back to about 60 beats per minute, maybe 70. Let's start at 60 and let's try the strumming pattern again, but this time we're not going to leave a pause between the chord changes, so you're going to have to move your fingers very quickly. Nice and slow, starting on the G chord, but this time no break between chords. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. G. Down, down, up, down, E minor. Down, down, up, down, C. Down, down, up, down, D. Down, down, up, down. One more time. G. Down, down, up, down, E minor. C, down, down, up, down, D, down, up, down, and finish on G. Great. So we've looked at that strumming pattern and that chord progression, playing it nice and slow without pauses between the changes. Next, of course, you want to work your way up gradually so you can play to about 120 beats per minute, being able to transition seamlessly between chords. And I have other videos on my channel that you can check out that give you tips on how to do that. But let's have a look at making this strumming pattern a bit more difficult now. I'm going to add a little line here on the picture. Now what this tie does is it actually connects the value of this note to this note. So when we play it, instead of going pear, apple, 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 we're going to go pear, apple, pull, apple. So we're missing the app here. The first part of apple here is silent, so it's going to be pear, apple, pull, apple. And it's a down, down, up, down, up. Now what do we do when we get here? We don't actually play anything, but we can still strum our hand in a downwards motion. But instead of strumming the strings, we're actually just going to drop our hands past the strings. I've put this little down arrow in brackets, so it's going to be pear, apple, pull, apple. A silent app there. And we're going to try it just on the G chord. Pear, apple, pull, apple. Pear, apple, pull, apple. Pear, apple, drop, pull, apple. So think of it as down, down, up, drop, up, down, up, down, down, up, drop, up, down, up, down, down, up, drop, up, down, up, down, down, up, drop, up, down, up. Pear, apple, pull, apple. Pear, apple, pull, apple. Now you can try that strumming pattern on the G chord, starting at the slow tempo, like 60 beats per minute might be good. And gradually try and work it up to 120 beats per minute. So maybe pause the video while you practice that, and then afterwards let's try it at 120 beats per minute. 1, 2, and 4, and pear, apple, pull, apple, pear, apple, pull, apple, pear, apple, pull, apple, pear, apple, pull, apple. Great. And to recount that, down, down, up, drop, up, down, up, down, down, up, drop, up, down, up. Next, we're going to try it with our chord progression again, starting on G, then E minor, then C, then D, and we're going to play it with a pause of 4 counts in between. Starting nice and slow again. 1, 2, and 4, and pear, apple, stop, 2 and 3, E minor, down, apple, chord, apple, stop, C, 2 and 3 and 4, down, down, up, down, stop, D, 2 and 3 and 4, and down, down, up, down, up, and back to G. So by now you've learnt to play that syncopated strumming pattern over those chords. Now it's a matter of working that chord progression up with the pause between the chords up to 120 beats per minute, and then you guessed it, next you go back to 60 beats per minute, and this time without the pause between chord changes, and then eventually work that up to 120 beats per minute. So there's a lot of practice, and this is a very easy to follow mechanical way of building your confidence with the strum pattern. Let's try that again, the strumming pattern nice and slow without a pause this time. Here we go. 1, 2 and 3 and 4, G, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, now D, down, down, up, down, G, 2 and down, E minor, 1, 2 and 3 and 4, C, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down. Fantastic. Now remember, it's all in the muscle memory, so eventually you don't actually want to be thinking of each individual down, apple, 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 or down, apple, pull, apple. You just want to be thinking of the strum pattern as sort of I'm going to leave it with you to practice for a little bit, so you can pause the video, and then when you feel ready, we're going to attempt it again right now at 120 beats per minute with no pauses between the changes, and let's see how we go. 1, 2 and 4 and fantastic. Now the method that I outlined in this video, with the metronome starting with the pause between chords and gradually getting faster and then going without the pause, also starting with a simpler strumming pattern and then graduating to the more advanced or syncopated strumming pattern, that method is a fantastic way to build your confidence with strumming patterns, whether it is a simple strumming pattern or a more complicated one. And I hope you found this video useful, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.